threatening me with arrest.
You're right. That was wrong, and I want to apologize to and Sarah and Wendy, and I think Roger came to see me later on, and I apologize for treating you guys that way also. It wasn't you.
Including your apology. Why, tell them why you're apologizing. What you said about us.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot. I didn't mean to bring that up. Yes, when Lee and Bob was there, for some reason I was in I got emotionally distraught, and I kicked you out, and I said something about Serpico. So I won't say anything more, but it was a negative comment, and I told Sarah and Wendy both that I would apologize for that negative comment about Serpico in public, and hopefully you accept that.
I accept that, but can I have permission to speak?
You have to ask counsel, Sarah.
Can I have permission to speak?
Yeah.
Yes. We started this meeting off with a prayer, and it seems to me when everybody leaves, the sight of that prayer, nobody remembers. Everybody's here for one reason. You care about your town. We all volunteer. I've been volunteering for 20 years, and every time I try to do something, there's been a roadblock. I've been talked about, but I can put aside. But what Mr. Parker said was very offensive, and I accept his apology.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to see more kindness and respect for our citizens. Everybody here in this town has something to offer, and we want help. Let us help. We're all here, and we all want to get along and live together in a great community. I don't see why that can't happen. And I hope this next year, y'all strive for that.
I agree with you, Sarah, and I went to try to catch every one of you after I did that, and there was no excuse for it, and please forgive me for acting like a jerk that day. Maybe I'll eat breakfast before I start making decisions.
You kicked them away from town. What's your policy about entering town hall?
Everybody's welcome. I went back each one individually and said, please, you're welcome back. Bob, come anytime you like.
Well, I accept your apology, but I still have one question that lingers in my mind.
Yes, sir.
Would you be apologetic, would this have been happening if I hadn't gone back and told my wife what you said about CERTA, and her and Sarah and Roger came into your office? I mean, I don't know if other people are treated that way. I don't know if your employees are treated that way. I don't know. And it seems to me, part of this may be you're apologizing because you got caught, not because of what you did. And so I'll accept your apologies at that level, but there's still at the back of my mind.
So please don't, it's not because I got caught. I didn't get caught in anything except for being an asshole. Okay?
Yeah.
And very seldom do I get that way, and it happens, and I hope you forgive me.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn the
May
meeting?
I speak, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, council, would you like to hear what you
I have an issue with personnel policy. Can we go into executive session, Mr. Mayor?
Council, do I hear executive session?
With the personnel policy.
With, as in my job description, our job description, my job description, and other personnel policy.
Do I hear a motion?
With this name.
Excuse me, you might ask your attorney, but I don't believe personnel policies are proper subjects for executive session.
For executive session, Will knows the exact ruling for executive session. Besides council makes a motion to go into it, you have to state the subject beforehand, correct?
That's correct.
Personnel issue.
That's correct. You can go into executive session for a personnel issue.
But that's the performance or hiring or firing of specific personnel, not policies.
That's correct.
So,
That's correct.
Hammer, if you have a personnel problem, give it to me.
I've given it to you 3 times already in
Okay.
the last 6 months.
You have.
Yes, I have.
You
It
give
needs
it
to be
to me in
addressed.
writing.
So I'm supposed to give it to you in writing? I have nothing in my policy that says I'm supposed to give it to you in writing.
Okay. What? I'll see you tomorrow.
I need an answer from I don't care. I'll be glad to say what I've got to say in front of the town council.
No.
Is it
In front of
a
these
policy
people.
manual
Yeah.
problem, or
Yes,
is
there's
it
a policy.
personal
No, it's a
problem?
policy. It's a policy problem.
So the policy that's written.
A written
Personnel
policy that
manual.
he's not following. And he stood right in front of all of our personnel on a Wednesday meeting that he called and degraded me.
So what your question is about the policy that's written in the personnel manual?
Yes, sir.
That's not a person, executive session issue, is it?
I don't believe so.
I mean, you can put out the policy and what the policy says in writing.
In our book, I don't have my book with me, I started to bring it, put it in. And state what your issues are about that policy,
I can.
or what your questions are to council about that policy.
All right. My questions are, I've asked Mr. Parker 3 times in the last 8 months to establish a chain of command. In these written policies, the chain of command is I'm over Public Works. I work directly under him, and everybody that's under me works under me also. He had told me on Wednesday that he's the boss and that Chris works under him, and basically, he's gonna delegate duties. Okay, he doesn't even go out in the field. How can he delegate duties? Chris comes in and tells him what he's gonna do for the day. I've had the problem, Drew Hagen's kept Chris in check. Okay? Ryan, every time I threatened Ryan to get me on the town council, he would go and talk to Chris, and we've had personality conflicts. And he took that away from me on Wednesday.
So you're saying the policy in the manual?
In the policy that you guys passed on our job description, he took that away from me on Wednesday. All I want to know is if we got rules and regulations to follow, you have the town code, town charter, general assembly puts that into effect. You guys put together these policies for us to follow. Are we going to stick with these policies or not?
That's right.
We need to tell Mr. Parker what these policies, he's got them, he's got copies of them. And he will not go by these rules and regulations.
Now, the policies that you're speaking of are all the ones in the white policy book, right?
The personnel policy book?
policy
It
manual?
is the job description policies.
Job description
That's
policy.
not in the personnel.
That's not in the personnel.
Separate manual.
Okay, this is something that you guys put together and voted on.
I don't think you did.
I don't know that we've seen job description policy manual.
You
No,
guys
they
put,
haven't.
you guys put it together when Ryan was here. Ryan and Caleb put it together. Who? Ryan and Caleb. Yeah. Hey, I was here when you guys were there.
Let me tell you, I remember a little bit of that, but I know we had discussions about creating
You told Ryan to
descriptive
prepare
job
them,
descriptions.
I think,
Mhm.
and he
He
did.
didn't ever want to do some with them and kind of wanted to make them.
And we did, because I signed mine.
Yeah. My meeting, we have a staff meeting every Wednesday. We have another one tomorrow at 9, and you can help me write your grievance about me, and I'll take it to the board for you, okay?
Okay.
Sorry, I missed you.
So I want to go ahead and file a grievance on it.
Okay, well, we've got to go through the process in the personnel manual. And it tells you how to file it. It tells me.
And I'm the first one to see it, and I've tried to resolve it with you, okay? And then if you can't, you can appeal it, okay? I'm sorry I missed your grievance that you told me earlier. I guess I wasn't paying attention, but we'll sit down and do that. My meeting every Wednesday is to, what I did last Wednesday for our staff meeting, I outlined the projects. I didn't know, I'm sorry if I talked bad about you, I didn't mean to do that. I had the job descriptions with me. I didn't change Hammer's. I took Chris's, scratched out where it says under the supervision of Public Works Director, and put town manager, so that all 5 employees work directly for me. I'm also getting a line put in to where any calls after 5 o'clock goes to my cell phone. And it happened this weekend, I think. Well, no, the line ain't in yet, but Hammer called me for something, Aaron called me, so that I can supervise and be in charge, central point of contact for everything. And I think that's the way you guys want the chain of command. I understood you when you hired me, that you wanted me to be the supervisor over all 5 employees.
But you're not in town, you're in Roanoke, or
Well, now, in the town charter, it says that the mayor is in charge of the employees.
All right, well-
But you're in charge of the day-to-day operation.
Okay. So
But I have a job description.
right,
but I
I
need to follow
didn't
it.
change yours, Hammer. You know, you're fine. I just made it so all 5 employees report to me.
But why does it have to be that way? You got so much going on. Is there a reason why you're doing that?
I think it's because of the fiasco we had at Christmas.
Can I ask a question? On the personnel manual, job description manual, which are probably 2 separate manuals.
Yeah.
For us to take a look at that, we could set a separate open
Workshop,
work
go
session,
through it.
workshop, not executive session subject, to look at these manuals, but it's an open session, correct? Only if we're dealing with a specific personnel issue relating to that can you go into executive session.
Right. And
My suggestion, I think, and I understand what you're saying, and I have some questions on their actual policy manual itself.
it's
About some stuff.
updated in 11.
I think we need to set a work session day sometime here within the next 30 days or so, whatever, and look at these manuals, let everybody get a copy of both of these manuals so we can start looking at them and come back and try to rework some of this stuff and get us on page, because if not, it's gonna cause us a lot of problems going forward.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was.
Because I've got some questions about some of the stuff in the regular policy.
Right, I didn't know, I understood I had the authority over all 5. Is that,
That's my understanding from the council point is you are the boss, and we hired you to oversee everybody.
so I
We just need
changed
to make
it,
sure that we got everything working right.
So I changed it to all 5 report to me. I just changed Chris's line item, and those job descriptions are just, Ryan put them together, got them off the internet, they're really generic changes.
Well, they're generic because I tried to get us to do more detailed ones, and he didn't want to do it, so I need to look at that
So,
also.
that's what I did. Now, do I have the authority to change that line item in the job description or to do that? If I don't, then I did something wrong, but I understood from you guys that I have the authority to do that as personnel officer. I get to hire and fire. I sign paychecks. Do I have the authority to change their job descriptions?
Do you have the authority to hire and fire
Yeah.
without council's approval?
I have to go look, I think so, I'm not sure.
I've already looked that up. I know it.
Actually, that's to come to council.
But,
Hire a town manager, you tell me.
if I can't, if I don't have the authority to change the job description, just say so. And I'll put Chris, I'll scratch it back out and see if he works with it. I think, I was trying to get a chain of command here, guys, so that all 5 of them work for me.
And
That's what I've been asking them for
we
for
do
the
need to
last
go that
6, 7
direction,
months.
and we need to make sure our manuals and our policies cover and take care of all these little issues that are kind of gray or not there at all.
So is it gray that I have the authority to change job description, or is it black and white?
Is it in writing somewhere?
I assume it wasn't working the way it was before.
My
You didn't
understanding,
changed it.
you know, for me as a council person, and I
It
know
wasn't?
Mike or Sonny might be different, was we hired as a manager to have day-to-day operational control and supervisory control over everything. You or whoever answers then to us.
Correct.
Okay,
The
then I'm
mayor
not a
has
supervisor
day-to-day
anymore.
supervisory, she can be a
So
supervisor.
you're saying I'm not a supervisor anymore, that's what my job title is.
Your job title still is supervisor.
Over what?
Well, you don't have any public works employees.
Well, okay then, go ahead, cut me loose, people, you got the opportunity. Turn me loose, I'm ready to go. I have nothing to supervise. Okay, just go ahead, and cut me loose. I'll start vacation next week, I got 4 weeks of vacation, and I'll give you my resignation in 4 weeks.
That's crazy.
No, ma'am.
No, I'm saying it's not right. I'm a former council member. I
Look, you
don't,
guys-
I worked, may I speak? Just for. No, yes. As a former council member?
Yes, ma'am, speak. I want to know.
Okay, Linda Miller. I'd just like to say that I brought up many years ago, try to get council to approve every employee's job description and who was in charge. We worked on it. We put some stuff in manuals. Where it went, who knows? I'm just saying that he is a great employee from the town from what I see. I'd hate to see him walk away. If he's a supervisor, like he said, supervisor what? You know, you got to have a job description. If he's a supervisor, Chris is under him, works underneath of him, he should be Chris's supervisor. Paul, you know yourself, you're not out there enough. You've got to have somebody on day-to-day operations that knows what needs to be done. You can't project what's going to have to be done that week, but I'm sure Hammer knows. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just hate to see you lose a good employee like this.
I'm on my way.
See,
I
I would
hope you
say
know.
that how you treated him at that meeting, that he complained about is exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about. You know, are you really sorry that you did it, or are you sorry you got caught? Because this is a person that's complaining about your behavior at a meeting.
I'm leaving. I'm not. Yeah, this man's passing through. This man's passing through. He's gonna be gone for a year, maybe 4 years. He's out of here. You know, when I came to work for this town, we were in the sewers 30 hours a week in the water leaks. Now we graduated to getting ditches draining and making everything else go. Now they wanna use convicts once a month. I don't see using convicts as much as they wanna use them. When we got jobs to do, and you don't want somebody else that just wants the convicts to do their part of their work. Where they can stand there and watch the convicts do everything.
Can I put my
Yeah.
For this whole matter here, can we put things back the way they were, and then as a council, do it together so we know what it is? I mean, that makes sense to me.
I think we're speaking of two issues here. One is the town manager is basically everybody's day-to-day supervisor, or whatever he says, whoever it is needs to be done. Now, Howard being a supervisor, where Chris is working under, technically he's in charge of Chris for that day. But ultimately, from the council standpoint, the manager is over everybody. And we can't have direction with 2 or 3 different people from our end.
There's too many chiefs. Too many chiefs.
But we do need to sit down and look at all these manuals, look at these policies, and I think that probably needs to be a priority. It's gonna take a couple meetings probably to do it and get these things down and in black and white, and that's where everybody's working on the same page. Because I can understand from Howard, he's got his own issue, but I also have issues with some stuff in the personnel manual.
Shouldn't we get that together as a council before we start changing things?
I understand the only thing I changed was Chris's job description where he reports to me. And it wasn't done because of Hammer or anything. I want to assign work to everyone.
So how can you assign work when you're not even in the field?
Hammer, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not arguing with you, I'm stating facts, my friend.
That's 2 subjects.
That's 2 subjects, but since they made me, they pay me to be responsible, okay? I'm trying to take responsibility for everything, okay? Therefore, after I get this line fixed, like Aaron's phone, when they call him, it goes to his cell phone. When I get CenturyLink to do that, all phone calls will go to me. I want to have the option to assign one of the 5 people something to do as a responsible person, okay? So that it's not confusing during any holidays. I will be the central point of contact for all 5 employees in the work.
It's a completely different subject.
Well,
We're talking about supervision subjects. I ain't worried about, that. We can fix that later.
That's why
You're getting off the subject.
After our meeting, I said, Hammer, I changed Chris's job description. I said, now I'm assigning Chris to you. Did I not say that?
You said you would be borrow Chris.
No, I said I'm assigning Chris to you.
I guess, so we do need to have conversations together. But I guess the simple thing here is, if Chris is working with Howard on maintenance today, then Howard's actually the supervisor.
Right. When I
If he's over there working for Jeff, then he's working under Jeff.
That's the way it is.
If Howard's not here and Chris is here, he's working for you.
That's right. And
that's the way it's been.
Right. That's the way it is.
Who does Sergeant Britt work for?
He works for me.
And everybody works for us.
So Chris, so Chris still works for Hammer. I have assigned Chris to Hammer, but Chris, I'm his direct supervisor, like I do Jane and Aaron and everybody else. All 5 of them report to me. That's all I did.
I have a question for Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to know why you're so power hungry. I mean, it seems to me when I come to these meetings, you're running things at the meetings. When the fire department burned down a house across the street from me on Saturday, and on Monday there was a man that came to get the tin to take to Buena Vista to the salvage to sell it to get money. And when I questioned him about who he gave him permission, he said, Paul, the town manager, gave him permission to come and do that. I said, are you going to clean up all the stuff, the bricks, the blocks, all this dirt and grime, or just this what's going to bring you the money? He said, I'm just getting the tin. He told me to come up here and get the tin, and Hammer and the crew was going to come up here and bulldoze. How long is it going to take to do that? It didn't take 2 days to come get the money maker, the tin, but I want to know how long is it going to come take to finish cleaning up the rest? Because the property on Catawba Street, it took a long time to get that one. Not the one up on the hill on Catawba, but the other one. I know it took a long time for them to clean that up. So how long is it going to take to clean up what's across the street from me when it only took 2 days for...
He wants to speak on this matter.
Well,
what happened.
Yes.
I'll explain what she did. Council member said point of order. That means everything stopped until the mayor makes a decision.
We
I
need to
apologize.
get with this before we go to something
We're
else.
hearing too many stories.
Okay, we're focused on this one we have right here.
Focus
You guys decide what you want me to do, and I'll do it.
I say we put it back to what it was.
I don't think, I mean, yeah, you made a small adjustment there. I think maybe we need to just continue to be like it's been. You're still everybody's day-to-day supervisor.
Yes,
But we need to set a meeting, and everybody needs to get copies of this policy manual, job description manual, so all of us can look at it, read it, and then we need to set a meeting of a workshop day where we can look at this stuff and make some changes.
And Hammer come tomorrow.
And everybody
I'll
get
agree.
on page as to what this council wants, and that's what we'll establish, and then that's the direction we'll go.
Okay. Sounds great. We'll
And
put
if
it
Hammer
back.
wants to, file grievance, whatever with your paperwork, you can get that and turn it to us, and that's a
I'll do
procedure
that.
that's in the manual to tell you how to do that.
So we revert everything back to the way it was.
May I talk, say something?
You have to ask them.
Council,
We're
would you like-
in discussion on the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Okay, is it pertaining to,
So do you guys as council, what do you like for me to do? Go back the way it was. Is that right?
For now, until we get together, you need to make all of us copies of these manuals,
I do.
preferably before Friday, and then we need to set a work session. Sooner the better.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Or if you want to schedule it, we can set a date down.
We're gonna meet next week, and maybe I can figure it out by then.
That works.
23rd, not next week.
okay,
Now, I'm going back to, Ms. Hartwell's thing. She was saying about that person came up there taking stuff and everything. And I called down there and asked them too who gave permission. And Jane told me that the town manager did. I said, well, would you have him call me? Which he never did call me. I'm the one mowed that grass and took care of that little place up there. And the next house over is mine, and I bet not catch nobody on that. Nobody can tell them to come get nothing
Thank
there.
you.
Because it's mine. And I the one took care of that, and that should have been something that somebody should have asked Candy, the owner, or Hill right there, because he the one doing it. So, make sure y'all don't come up there on that next one. All I gotta say.
okay.
Heard that.
I don't like, can I speak? Because Amber brought up something Roger did too. I need to speak for him.
Okay, Hansel, would you like to hear what Mr. Walker has to say?
Short. All right, Mr. Hill here is raising his hand. If any of y'all, if we have a member that's too meek to speak up, ask him. He might have a good opinion. Let me tell you, now, how does he supervise anybody, Hammer or anybody, when I'm not going to put Jane on the spot? What time does he come to work? If he's got North Carolina tags, he's going to have a phone with him. Let me ask that question, but let me tell you this. I've heard the comment he made that the hikers really have a lot good to say about this town. You think about the route the hikers take. They come by the old video store that was cleaned up with taxpayer money to appease Reese McCallahan. They go up to the shelter, right? That we cleaned up around that white building to benefit Roger. All right, and then they go to the library, the grocery express, and the post office. So what do they see around town? When was the last time, if he works for you council member, when was the last time you seen him around town, supervising? I'll rest my case, man. No, the hall manager, that's who Hammer was saying. How do you supervise anybody in Carolina or Roanoke or sitting here in the office? I've never seen you down my street in 14 months.
Well, I see Hammer every morning at
No,
7.
I Hammer Paul.
I know. I see Hammer every morning at 7 something, and I never see Paul. Never.
You've never seen it.
Never.
I make a motion that we adjourn. Do I hear a motion? I make a motion to adjourn. Second? Okay.
We are adjourned. Miss Mary, you need to sign this.